So we went to Lindesy X with this car. Did really good. I didn't really think it was going to do nearly as good as what it did, but it did fantastic. I went into mid-size, and I didn't think I was going to run mid-size. I only went there to run full-size because I did know that my bumper was a little above mid-size rules, but the promoter put me in mid-size, so I ran mid-size. Did good. Car stalled once, and I do not know why, but it fired back up. Lost my radiator, and then I went out, and these two young kids actually jumped the fence and helped me out like you wouldn't believe. They helped me change tires because I popped a tire. They helped me. I couldn't put any water in the radiator, so I just dry blocked the full-size heat. But no, these two kids jumped the fence and helped me out like you wouldn't believe. It went really good, and then I went into full-size, and I did have a double on, so that's one of my first times running a double this year. But I ended up winning full-size as well, so I was pretty ecstatic about that. Some things that I like about this car is that shifter. Honestly, without that shifter, I don't think I could have won this derby. That thing there, I was able to pop the gears, drive, reverse, no problem. It felt super smooth. Back end of the car is not actually that bad. Both trailing arms are broken, but if you take a look, the wheel wells are still in great shape. Like, I don't run a lot of W bodies, but I do run a lot of Camrys, and I don't have Camrys look this good. Floor did kind of buckle. In the front, this thing held up great, except for the starter and the transmission lines are right up front now. Subframe's kinked, frame's kinked, everything is kinked. But these guys here were actually starting to hit the starter, so I think it's about time. Like, look at, you can see right there a good hit done to the transmission lines. But I find it funny that the upper rod support is actually out farther than the bumper. I've never had that happen in a car. Motor's completely twisted in here, pushed right back on an angle. This header actually came back and melted the spark plug wire and burnt the dipstick. So I actually borrowed a spark plug wire off a buddy that was there, so I was able to keep going. But the alternator came back and went into the strut tower. Everything is bent. The motor is on one heck of a wicked angle. This car is done. This frame here is really bent. The subframe's bent. The door's pushed right in from the Bolton. It bent all my inside cage. It's touching my seat. I did bend this steering wheel, but I was able to pull it back. This frame here is actually still straight. Look at this. Look at that. It's still straight. This cage, again, I know I said this 100 times before, but this is one of my favorite Demolition Derby cages. This NG Customs cage gets bolted into these cars super easily, super fast, and it's very safe, honestly. It takes some good shots. Now, a lot of you guys are going to say, well, quit running Camrys and start running W bodies. Well, I'd like to do that, but the problem is that W bodies are very hard to find here, and they're actually really expensive. For every 5 W bodies on Kijiji, there's got to be 20 or 30 Toyota Camrys. For what I paid for this car, I can buy about 3 Toyotas. So that just goes to show you how expensive these things are. And honestly, guys, everything I got is for Toyotas. I have probably 6 or 7 Toyota headers now when I only have one Lumina header. I have all these custom cages that fit inside Toyotas, and I don't have any custom cages except this NG Customs cage that fit in these cars. And these cars here make me run full size. And it's not worth it when I can go there and there be 3 or 4 full-size cars and there'd be 12 mini cars. I'd rather run with the 12 than the 2 or 3. But honestly, my wiring did great. It stayed dry. I put a floor mat over top of it, so all my wiring's good. My computer is nice and dry. All the wiring I moved up here by the firewall is all good. Even though the firewall got crushed by the header, all my wiring is good because of how I ran it. The shifter worked great. The cage worked great. the headers, they sounded amazing. In the V8 class, I think I was actually louder than some of the V8s, which is saying something, because some of those V8s had some pretty big carburetors on them. But I did have to take a sledgehammer to my brand new headers because they came in. But oh well. I'm gonna have to start tearing this car apart very shortly, and then I can, because I need a lot of these parts out for cars coming up. I need the shifter, I need the cage, I need the doubles, I need a lot of parts off this thing, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna get these headers off. I think I have to take the motor out to take these headers off. Oh well. Well guys, the W-body Buick did great. A lot of you guys gave me a little bit of, what's the proper word I'm looking for? Flack for not naming it, but honestly the wife couldn't come up with a name, and everybody that named it like the Bee Killer or whatever, I was pretty happy about that, but she painted it with polka dots, so I can't really call it the Bee Slayer or anything like that. But I don't know, it was a good car, I enjoyed it. I'll build another one, that's for sure, because I got another one. But this thing right here, I think I will never find another car like this one. With the 75,000 kilometers that are on this thing, let's see if I can zoom in on that. This thing here was rust free. This thing here was zero rust, and I was happy about that. That thing there is rusty as all heck, so don't worry about that. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow.